I'm so full of magic right now, I could pass some on to you.
We could
Gross.
we could funnel.
That's right.
They could funnel.
We could Ruidus funnel.
By what method do you do that?
I don't know yet. We'll see how it happens, but I imagine it's through the mouth.
That's right. Crit roll conspiracies are back. These are my 7-year-old son's glasses. If you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Luna, and this is the show where we chat about all the latest theories about Campaign 3 of Critical Role. And today we are discussing episode 86, which had some huge moments. Also, stay tuned for a dice giveaway later in this video. Now, for those who have been around for a while, just a heads up, this is not a recap like some of my previous videos, but more of a casual discussion about some of my favorite moments from the episode and some theories critters out there have as well, which is basically how this series started like all those years ago. Here is your spoiler warning. Let's go.
Did we see? I was going to say Katha.
Yeah.
Katha is in the skies.
Well,
First, I want to talk about this portal between Exandria and Ruidus, because what an exciting find for Bell's Hells. It is infinitely funny to me that Ludinus has spent like 1,000 years trying to reach the moon, and this group of sillies found a secret entrance pretty much right away. I saw some comments saying that this portal is kind of contrived, but honestly, I think narratively it was a great decision to include this, because it's going to allow them to potentially flit between Exandria and Ruidus without always having to infiltrate the Malleus Key site. I mean, there's only so many times that the group can do that without it getting kind of boring, and I also don't think Matt could get away with allowing them to do it like multiple times without it feeling kind of ham-fisted. The Ruby Vanguard will definitely have stepped up their defenses, you know, even more after their infiltration. After a little bit of looking around, Bell's Hells confirms that this portal opens to Isilra, and I'm so excited to see yet another little tie to this continent that we don't know very much about. I was on Ghostfire Gaming's Eldritch Lorecast recently, and we were chatting about Daggerheart and whether or not it was going to have a setting attached to it. Because from what I've seen so far, there is some setting information, like you can pick what area your character might be from, and those areas don't appear to be connected to Exandria. But what if Daggerheart is going to use Isilra as its setting? We'll get a Campaign 4 set in Exandria, in Isilra, and the crew will be playing Daggerheart. You heard it here first. Don't remind me of this theory when the game comes out and I'm wrong, but you can remind me if I'm right. This portal being located in Isilra might also be an avenue to us having a little more Ashton backstory if it happens to be anywhere near the Hashari village, which honestly I would be very keen on. More backstory, please. So where did this portal come from? Well, on Ruidus, they found the portal amidst some temple ruins that aren't recognized as being Elvish, but like extremely ancient Elvish. We know that Ruidus was created from a chunk of Exandria, right? So I think that this elven temple was part of the land that was sort of gouged out to make the moon, and perhaps before it was gouged out when it still existed on Exandria, this temple contained a portal to the lake in Isilra. Or, you know, it might not even have been a lake back then, since this all happened like thousands of years ago. Maybe there was some other important site there at the time. Then, when Ruidus was created, this temple was still connected to that portal, and the portal just shifted to be on Ruidus. Side tangent. I actually have a theory that the Bormodo are the descendants of the Tishtan, who were a nomadic people who mysteriously disappeared into thin air at one time. Coincidentally, the Tishtan are the ones who built those ruins where the Malleus Key site is, so, you know, it's all coming together. I want to take this moment, actually, to talk about this theory from the Critical Role subreddit. Let me find it. This is from user Urist McD, who thinks that there were probably thousands of homes and people snatched up to form Ruidus and just kind of crushed around Predathos. McD thinks that all the souls of the people were trapped behind the magical gate created by the gods to trap in Predathos and were then used to form the people on Ruidus, and those souls are sort of being reborn and reincarnated like a giant Luxon beacon. Myths about Predathos says that it spawns twisted life in its wake, and so it could have used these souls to do so. This theory further goes on to say that the fact that most of the agriculture seems to exist underground on Ruidus could also be because of all that life and fertile soil sort of being like crushed into the middle of the moon. I don't know, I think it's pretty neat. I'll put a link in the description if you want to read the full thing. It was a little strange that the group didn't finish off those creatures that lured them into the lake, which I believe were kelpies, although I'm still secretly hoping for like an aboleth or something somewhere in there. But hopefully Keyleth and crew will be able to finish them off so that they can have a safe passage between Exandria and Ruidus. Plus, with the village of Ryuduin being completely abandoned, if they can sort out the lake problem, Bell's Hells and the Resistance could use it as a home base, which is something that I have felt has been severely lacking from the campaign thus far. Like, I would really love them to have somewhere they can just return to and kind of make their own, you know, kind of like how we had the Jor house in campaign 2. I just think that'd be so good. Hey, you like dice, right? You probably own too many dice, right? You collect the dice to fill the empty void in your heart when your D&D session is once again cancelled. Right? Well, have I got a giveaway for you? I'm thrilled to be partnering with my long-term sponsor, Only Crits, to give away a set of their stunning Crystal Creation dice set. I own a ton of sets from Only Crits and they are all gorgeous. Viewers of my Twitch channel will recognize this oversized D20, which we roll every stream. Shout out in the comments if you're Team Green. And I also love these sharp edge sets that I have, and the Tiny Friends ones are my favorite. But my favorite are the Crystal Creation set, and they give me nat 20s every time. I mean, that's just a fact. I mean, you can fact check me if you want, but I'm just saying. If you want to enter, all you need to do is head to my Twitter, which is @Luboffin, and there is a link also down in the description, and then just follow the instructions. We'll draw the winner in 10 days time, but if you can't wait until then, you can pick up your own gorgeous set from onlycrits.com. Just, go and have a cheeky look. I dare you. Just put a few in your cart. See what happens. Good luck to everybody who enters. Back to the video.
Hello? Mr. Caleb said I'm supposed to talk to this person. Is this working? I've tried this so many times. It's driving me up the wall and...
Oh.
Is this her first?
So anyway, I'm just curious if this is going forward. Hello? Please respond, please.
Yes, who is... Yes, it works. We met Caleb at the Key. We're at Lake Umamu. We just talked to Lady Keyleth.
Okay, I don't know who that is, but I'm extremely happy for you, and I'm so happy this is working. So who are you? What are you doing? How do you know Caleb? How did this all come?
I'm Imogen. We're a group. We went to Ruidus. How do you... We met Caleb at the Key. He was captured. We haven't seen him since.
Okay, well, he's fine now, and it's nice to meet you, person that knew Caleb at the Key. Don't know what that means either, but thank you.
Who is this?
Oh, my name is Jester.
Nice to meet you, Jester.
Sending is back, baby. Oh, that was so exciting. And let me tell you, I welled up hearing Jester's voice. I love her so much. It was really sweet seeing Laura get emotional as well. It must just be such a wild feeling to talk in character to one of your other characters. And I can just imagine that as soon as Jester got off of that sending spell, she immediately used like every single spell slot she has to message everyone she hasn't been able to harass in ages. So yes, sending is back, and that is extremely exciting. But why is it back? What has changed since all that magic went haywire? If my memory serves me correctly, sending stopped working after Ludinus activated the Malleus key due to the ley lines surging with magic and sort of mixing everything up during the apogee solstice. When the Malleus key activated, it locked Ruidus into place, creating an endless apogee solstice and messing up all different kinds of magic. So if sending is working right now, does that mean that the apogee solstice is waning? If so, I feel like the only reason for that would be that the Malleus key is off or like powering down or something. Maybe Ludinus shut it down for now because he has everyone and everything like he needs on the moon to wake Predathos, and it's just like kind of too risky to keep it open if, people like Bell's Hells continue to attack and run these incursions. Or maybe, even the Malleus key, as powerful as it is with its little Vax orb, is just not able to hold on to the moon for that long. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a mystery, and hopefully we will get some answers. Another question I have is, since sending is now working, does that mean Revivify is too? We haven't had many close calls with death lately, so I sort of forgot about that like little detail, but it sure will be nice to at least have the option to use Revivify again. One last thing before we move on. How is everyone feeling about the fact that Dorian didn't respond? Personally, I think he's fine. I think Matt is perhaps just leaving it as a dramatic moment so he can have Robbie record a little message again and play it on stream. Or maybe Dorian is going to dramatically surprise the party by being on the moon, and then he'll rejoin Bell's Hells permanently. Right? Jokes aside, I do think we are due for a guest soon. It would be really cool if they got someone in to play a member of the Volition, who are the resistance against the Imperium. An ally like that could open up a lot of information and allow them to get a ton of answers to their questions. Why do you think sending is working again? Get in the comments.
We're one and the same, Laudna dear.
I don't believe that.
You don't have to. Faith, for some, is strong. I prefer reality.
Then help me. Grant me more power. What do I need to do?
To grant you power, I need more power. Find what you can and feed us, and I'll give you everything you need to keep her safe. I promise.
Promise, promise.
I'm not in the business of breaking my word. If a bit careful with how I express them.
Oh, Lordna, you poor girl, what are you doing? You know you shouldn't be talking to Delilah like that. It seems to me that Lordna, with, good but misguided intentions, is sort of mirroring the way Delilah behaved when it came to Silas. So let me refresh for those who are not as familiar with Campaign 1 or Legend of Vox Machina. So Silas became sick with some kind of incurable curse or disease, and Delilah set out to find a cure. She discovered the cure, but when she returned, Silas had already died. Delilah was overcome with grief, and then she spent her time trying to find a way to bring him back, and it was during this time that the Whispered One, aka Vecna, reached out to her. In exchange for her service to him, the Whispered One gave Delilah the knowledge she needed to bring Silas back, but as a vampire. She completed the ritual and the Briarwoods were together once more, both servants to the Whispered One. Well, until Vox Machina showed up, of course.
You can't! I broke the world for us!
So Delilah would pretty much do anything for her love Silas, and I'm very scared at the thought of Lordna following a similar path to protect her love, Imogen. I think this conversation and also the one following the shard incident really shows how much Lordna has regressed into that sort of dependent role on Delilah, and Delilah, she's cunning, she knows exactly how to push those buttons. If Lordna thinks that she can protect Imogen by siphoning more power to Delilah, then I don't doubt she's going to do it. In fact, we saw it already when she killed the Willmaster. I think when the group talked about Lordna potentially using Delilah to help in this big fight against lewdness, they really, really underestimated just how much Delilah can sort of claw her way into Lordna. It also probably doesn't help that FCG keeps using turn undead on her. Like, dude, chill. Frightening as it was, I would also like to acknowledge how funny it was to watch Lordna get relationship advice from Delilah.
You feel this vibration in the air, this odd kind of energy, like a buzz that just kind of encompasses all the space around you. You feel your stomach begin to drop, like there's an anticipatory butterfly-like feeling in your stomach. And faster than you can process it, the entire ground around you begins to brighten. Every stone and rock just begins to burn like a colder ember till you have to close your eyes. It's too bright. It burns your vision. The entirety of the surface of the moon around you becomes incandescent with red light. The storm seems to instantly stop.
It's a flare. It's a flare.
Now, the five of you kind of shield your eyes. It's too intense to hold, and you just kind of feel that energy kind of pass through and beyond. The two of you drop into a brief state of euphoria. Suddenly, your vision goes white, not unlike a few moments in your life when you felt that power flash within you. You feel like you've been around forever for a moment. A timeless essence that is only experiencing a blip. And then it's gone and passed through you. You don't see the light anymore, but you feel like you felt it pass through you and up into the endless expanse. The rest of you kind of wait for your vision to return, and you look over and see Fern, that red energy just drifting around her, her hair kind of floating, and you don't see Imogen. Huh? Until you look up, and about 20 feet in the air, she stands there, eyes white, hair glowing bright pink red. All the intricate veins of energy across her body now just brightly glowing, and you can see clusters of rock and stone around have lifted up with her and just kind of hold slowly rotating aloft.
At the end of the episode, back on Ruidus, we got to see a flare happening from the perspective of Ruidus. We learned from a previous episode that apparently the Weave Mind, which is a council of old Ryloran mystics in the Imperium, actually usher in the flares. I'm really curious to know if this is actually true, or if the Weave Mind just says that to exhibit power over the population. Especially the Bormodos, who seem to be of a lower social status than the Rylorans. I mean, at least just from what we've seen at the outpost Rhizora, it might be different in the capital city. What are the purpose of these flares? Well, whether intentional or not, I think it's clear that increasing the population of Ruidusborn was integral to Ludinus's plot, since they were siphoned like living batteries when the Bloody Bridge was formed, and since Ruidusborn are born under the flares, that seems like a pretty clear purpose. But I feel like there's got to be more to it, especially since all the people on the moon go into this sort of euphoric trance. I wonder if during those flares, Ruidus is siphoning power from the moon inhabitants, or if it is transferring power to them or something. The fact that Imogen and Fern receive temporary hit points must mean there is some kind of transfer happening. Sidebar though, if all the Ryloran go into this sort of a trance during the flare, that could be a prime time for the Exandrian forces to attack the Vanguard. Just someone tell Keyleth. Imogen's response to the flare was markedly different to Fern's, and I'm still waiting for Imogen's sort of exultant born of an exultant stuff to come into play. I know a lot of people think Imogen could be the key to it all, and we can only hope that she resists the siren call of Predathos and doesn't give in to become its champion, or, you know, some such eldritch nightmare fuel, and hopefully Orym, you know, doesn't pressure her so much that she does just run face first to it. All right, lastly, I just have to shout out probably my favorite moment from the episode.
I'm going to do my form of dread and kind of look like one of the undead pirates just for funsies. And I say, hey, we're going to the bottom of the sea.
Who are you talking to?
The rope slowly turns to
Boat
you.
and Rope.
Oh, to Boaty and Ropey.
Okay.
And then
The boat goes.
we just dive down, and I just look super majestic with one foot.
You and the
I'm
boat
Captain
slowly
Morgan
sinks into the lake
sinks down to
as
go
the rope begins to protrude and snake outward.
The whole interaction when the spell ended gave me big squeam energy.
It's been a pleasure.
I'll always remember what you said to me.
As always, let me know all your theories and thoughts about this week's episode in the comments. And if you've enjoyed it, please let me know, because I would really love to make more of these videos again. So yeah, give me some positive feedback if you liked it. Thank you again to Only Crits for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to go and enter the giveaway. And thank you also to my lovely patrons. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/Luboffin. Until next time, bye!